The suppression operates through the simplest mechanism imaginable. A $15 film that reflects 80% of solar heat sits on commercial shelves while millions pay monthly penalties for energy they never needed to consume. The technology was perfected by NASA in 1972. Federal buildings adopted it as standard specification within a decade. For residential consumers, 50 years of silence followed. I observe this pattern because it reveals how industry control functions through selective information distribution rather than product prohibition. The energy sector never banned solar control window film. They simply declined to mention its existence while promoting solutions that generate recurring revenue streams instead of one-time purchases. The physics are straightforward and were documented completely 5 decades ago. When sunlight strikes unprotected glass, up to 40% of a building's total heat load enters through windows rather than walls or roofs. Each square foot of direct afternoon sun exposure transfers the equivalent of a 1,000-watt heater's output continuously into interior spaces. Air conditioning systems combat this solar heat gain rather than actual outdoor temperatures. According to early indicators, the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory quantified this residential greenhouse effect with precision that eliminated any technical uncertainty about solutions. NASA technical report TND 7492 proved that metallic thin films could reject up to 78% of incoming solar radiation before it converted to interior heat. The technology required no power source, no maintenance, no professional installation. Federal facility managers implemented these findings immediately. The General Services Administration made solar control film mandatory for all federal building upgrades throughout the 1980s. Government facilities reduced cooling costs by documented margins of 60 to 70% where properly applied. This knowledge remained restricted to institutional procurement, while residential consumers received no equivalent information. I recognize this selective distribution because I have documented how profitable industries maintain revenue streams through information asymmetries. The residential energy efficiency sector generates over $60 billion annually across the United States. This market depends on complex solutions that require professional installation, ongoing service contracts, and periodic replacement cycles. A $15 film that homeowners apply themselves without tools or permits cannot support this revenue structure. It eliminates heat gain for up to 10 years without any additional cost or maintenance requirements. No contractor installation generates fees. No monthly service subscriptions attached to static films. No annual inspections create ongoing relationships. The suppression mechanism becomes clear through what was promoted instead. Smart thermostats that cost $200 and require professional installation. Attic insulation projects that cost thousands and require contractor services. HVAC system upgrades that cost tens of thousands and generate ongoing maintenance contracts. Each promoted solution creates multiple revenue opportunities for industry participants. Meanwhile, solar control window film remained available but invisible. Amazon stocks it continuously. Home improvement retailers carry multiple brands. The technology never disappeared from commerce. It simply disappeared from residential energy efficiency recommendations, despite documented performance that exceeded most promoted alternatives. Draft assessments show that homeowners who independently discovered this technology documented cooling cost reductions of 40 to 60% within their first billing cycle after application. A Phoenix family invested $31 in window film and reduced their monthly electricity bill by $112 compared to the previous year's identical month. The investment paid for itself in under 30 days. These results were not anomalies. They were predictable outcomes based on the established physics of solar heat gain through unprotected glass. The Department of Energy classifies solar control film as one of the highest value efficiency upgrades available to homeowners in warm climates. Yet, this classification appears only in technical documents that residential consumers never encounter. The institutional adoption pattern reveals the knowledge gap's artificial nature. The Empire State Building completed a comprehensive window upgrade using solar control film and documented a 68% reduction in solar heat gain across the entire building facade. The project recovered its full cost within 1 year through reduced cooling expenses. Unverified reports imply that similar upgrades became standard practice for commercial real estate and institutional facilities throughout the 1980s and 1990s. Office buildings, hospitals, schools, and government facilities adopted solar control film as routine specification. Only residential applications remained excluded from this widespread adoption. I note how this exclusion pattern aligns with broader energy industry strategies for maintaining consumption-based revenue models. Utilities profit from energy sales volume. Efficiency contractors profit from complex installation projects. Equipment manufacturers profit from replacement cycles. Solar control film threatens none of these business models individually, but eliminates the need for their services entirely. When a simple solution eliminates the problem that supports an entire industry segment, that solution disappears from public awareness through non-promotion rather than prohibition. The technology remains legal and available. Information about its effectiveness simply never reaches the consumers who would benefit most from implementing it. The timeline reveals the coordination involved. NASA published the research in 1972. Federal adoption occurred throughout the 1980s. Commercial adoption became standard practice by the 1990s. Residential promotion never began, despite 5 decades of documented success in institutional applications. This 40-year information lag cannot be explained by technical limitations, safety concerns, or regulatory barriers. Solar control window film requires no special handling, creates no safety hazards, and falls under no regulatory restrictions for residential use. The technology that government buildings have used safely for 40 years presents no risks that would justify excluding residential consumers from the same benefits. The current trend continues if it does. Millions of homeowners will continue paying monthly penalties for solar heat gain through unprotected windows, while the solution sits available for $15 per window. The energy efficiency industry will continue promoting complex, expensive solutions, while the simplest and most effective option remains invisible in residential recommendations. The suppression succeeds because most consumers trust that energy companies would inform them about cost-saving technologies that reduce monthly bills. This trust assumes that utility companies and efficiency contractors prioritize customer savings over their own revenue generation. The 50-year silence about solar control film demonstrates how this assumption operates against consumer interests. When industries profit from problems persisting, solutions that eliminate those problems receive no promotional support, regardless of their effectiveness or availability. The $15 film represents exactly such a solution. It works better than promoted alternatives, costs less than any competitor, and requires no ongoing relationship with service providers. History suggests that effective technologies eventually reach widespread adoption, despite industry resistance to their promotion. Solar control window film will likely follow this pattern as information spreads through consumer networks rather than industry channels. The question becomes how long unnecessary energy costs will persist while simple solutions remain hidden in plain sight. The knowledge exists, the technology is available. The only missing element is awareness among the people who would benefit most from applying it. When enough homeowners discover that $15 can eliminate 40 to 60% of cooling costs, industry revenue models based on complex solutions will lose their effectiveness. That discovery process has already begun. Social media networks spread consumer experiences faster than industry marketing budgets can suppress them. The 50-year information blackout is ending not because industries decided to promote simple solutions, but because consumers are discovering those solutions independently and sharing results with others facing identical problems. The $15 film that eliminates most residential cooling costs was never a secret. It was simply knowledge that serving your interests conflicted with serving industry profit margins. When you understand this conflict, you understand why the most effective solutions often receive the least promotion from the industries that profit from the problems those solutions would eliminate.